It's on the editorial page of The Gleaner. And I'm going to put it up for you and read it for you. There it is. Yes, on our Nationwide 90 FM YouTube live page. And it shows the former PNP presidents, Portia Simpson Miller and Peter Phillips and Mark Golding. And Sister P is saying to Peter Phillips, when I lost to Andrew, I resigned shortly after. And Peter Phillips, in responding, says, when I lost to Andrew, I too resigned. Mark, hearing that, is thinking, yeah, he has lost an election, yes, and he has not resigned. And I think what the cartoonists are saying here is that, listener, there's a big debate going on now in the PNP, whether he too should follow in the footsteps of Mrs. Simpson Miller and Dr. Phillips and offer his resignation to the party. This is part of the discussion, the questions, the consultations taking place in the party now. And look just beyond them, with a big chain and bell round his neck, Andrew Holness. You see the look by Andrew face? As if to say, yeah. Ask him, Sister P. Ask him, the Peter. Yeah? They both said, when I lost, I resigned. Is Mark going to resign? Let us see. After the break, Lawrence Rowe on what happened in central Kingston. Let me ask you, the elections have come and gone. They're over. Central Kingston, Lawrence Rowe, Steve McGregor, all major actors from earlier this year until on the weekend, when a winner was declared in Donovan Williams, the incumbent, winning by just over 70 votes, 79 votes in central Kingston. And I gather you played a significant role in the Labour Party squeezing on by 79 votes. Looking back now, what are the thoughts going through your head when you saw the Labour Party finally winning and your People's National Party being defeated?
Well, in looking back, I know that the leader of the party must have been reflecting. I know he's reflecting on the words that I told him on the 4th of January when he first, indicated that I would be replaced as candidate. I told him in no uncertain terms, if I am unable to sit in the parliament, he's unable to become Prime Minister of Jamaica.
Oh, you told him that?
Yes, I told him that.
Where did you tell him that?
The leader of opposition's office. Okay, meeting between myself, Peter Bunting, Dayton Campbell, and the leader himself.
What was his response?
He rubbed his head and he asked me a question, if I am replaced, if I will leave the party. And I told him, yes, it is do or die.
It is do or die. And you didn't die.
I rise.
You rose, huh? Huh?
Hi, Angelo.
So, Lawrence, okay, so you accurately predicted that the party would be defeated. But in terms of Central Kingston was a must-win for the PNP. Yeah, from you were there. Yeah, and it came down to the wire. Yeah, tell me about the ebb and flow of the campaign in Central Kingston right up until Donovan Williams won.
Well, the campaign there was intense. I mean, the leader of the opposition and, the PNP visited the constituency, announcing first, the campaign, the candidacy of Steve McGregor. Then they launched the campaign, and then there were a series of tours in the constituency. there were a lot of character assassinations as well, and they ran a campaign that was, targeted. And, as the political practitioner that I am, and the training that I received from, the great Portia Kingston Miller, I had to use the common touch and to say to the people, stay with me. I had to, remind them of, the performance of the past administration, and how they dealt with the constituency. And, the people were bitter about some remarks that Mark Golden made towards me about not being a real man and shenanigans. And they know the role that I played, in him continuing as leader of the PNP and securing him as leader of the PNP as well. And people were even looking at their children and saying that, having a child growing up in an inner city community without any, criminal record, holding his head up high, and, wanting an opportunity to continue serving his people, being denied that opportunity without cause. They were saying that no, they were unable, they are not going to stay with the PNP. Mm-hmm. There are a lot of PNP people who stayed home. They weren't into this full crossover business, and they said their best means of protesting is to stay home.
Mm-hmm. So they did.
We came under immense pressure, riling up the JLP base as well. Donovan Williams serving for 5 years. The JLP across the constituency believe that, he should have done something personal for all of them.
Mm-hmm.
That is all they felt. And, having not, received some personal benefits or stuff, some withheld their votes. And that also placed some pressure and strain on me.
Mm-hmm.
So, to rile up the comrades primarily in the Almontown division to come out and support it, Donovan. I mean, he had his list of original JLP workers, and I had my comrades who are accustomed to working for the PNP over the years, working on his behalf.
Mm-hmm.
And if you come into the Almontown community, just drive through, you would see from start to finish JLP paraphernalia.
Mm-hmm.
If you play a JLP song, you will see the streets lined with people giving that sort of support. Never before seen. The JLP also hit the 2,000 mark in the Almontown division. That was our target. We got 2,001. Moving it from 1,671 in 2020.
Yes.
So, yeah. So,
and that was crucial because it meant that the JLP overperformed in Almontown.
Correct.
Mm.
And they underperformed in the Raytown division.
Tell me, what were the numbers out of Raytown?
So in the Raytown division, the JLP lost 66 votes, and the PNP grew by 130. So the JLP lost 196 votes.
Mm-hmm.
That's a margin. Their margin was reduced by 196, while our margin was reduced by only 28.
Tell me, Lawrence Rowe, yeah, how did you manage, given the threats that were made against you? Yeah, what was that like during the campaign? Were there moments when you really thought this was it for you?
Well, I came under intense pressure from comrades. I came under pressure from my family, who believed that their lives were in danger as well, and they asked me to pull it off. And until it got to a point where, my father came out in his green and the community was like, wow.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that gave me the courage to continue. I am from, my bloodline comes from the Akompong Maroon. So we are resilient people. There is not an ounce of fear in me. Once I make up my mind that I am doing something, I'm going to communicate it and I'm going to do it.
Mm-hmm. But weren't you being, I don't want to use the word, but it keeps on coming at me. Weren't you being stupid in staying in central Kingston, given the threats against you? That was not being rational.
I had to stay with the people. I had to show them that I am in this fight with them.
Yes.
And I will be with them.
Oh.
That's a personal decision I had to make.
Mm-hmm.
During that period, I purchased my home in Phoenix Park, which was up for sale, coming out of the issues with the PNP and, what I spent in the local government election. I was almost bankrupt. I was bankrupt. Yeah. And my loans went bad. I had debt of a little over $30 million. So my house was repossessed. I had to sold two of my vehicles. The insurance for my car went straight to NCB to cover debt.
Mm-hmm.
So life for me was a wreck, but I knew what I was about.
Uh-huh.
I knew what my goal was, and I stayed the course and accomplished it.
Mm. Have you recovered now, financially?
Yes, I have.
Mm-hmm.
As I said, I had assets above, surpassing the debt.
Mm-hmm.
And I just decided that I am going to restart life. And, that's how it is. You win some, you lose some. I grew humble, in a board structure. I am accustomed to carrying water on my head. I know about kata, right? I know about standpipe. I know about walking to school. I know about booming drive,
Mm-hmm.
I know about pit latrine,
Mm.
And, restarting is not even a difficult task for me because I've always lived a humble life.
Mm-hmm.
Service to people is what makes me feel complete,
Yeah.
rather than, stacking up on assets and living lavishly.
I've been asking my listeners to give me 3 reasons why the JLP won and the PNP lost. I want you to give me 3 reasons why the PNP lost and the JLP won.
The first is the PNP had no message. They continued to hammer the Prime Minister and the whole integrity report not being certified, and no one was, hearing what is to come. There was no hope for the future, and the PNP kept on. Their messaging was off when they spoke about doom and gloom on the country. And while we as Jamaicans felt, much safer with crime going down, we are feeling, the economy in our pockets, with the tax breaks, the compassionate grants and so on and so forth. We felt that the country was heading in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
What the PNP should have done is to say, yes, we started, fiscal prudence while we were there. It has been accelerated by the JLP, and we will continue, that sort of thing. In terms of crime, when, crime was spiraling out of control, you hammered the government.
Mm-hmm.
Now it is under control, you want to give only the commissioner credit for it. Jamaicans are not stupid, right? And, they saw you for what you were doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe we can talk even about the local government elections in 2024. Coming out of the local government election, it was a one-way campaign, almost a one-way campaign. PNP was out there. They treated it like a general election. They were hammering the Prime Minister, in 2024 about the whole integrity issue. However, at the close of polls, had it been a general election, the JLP would be in government by one seat.
Mm-hmm.
The result was 32-31.
Yeah.
And the PNP had an opportunity to win 13 other seats. Because they lost 13 seats by under 1,000 votes. There was Manchester Northeast 62, Southeast Clarendon 130, Eastern St. Andrew 186, Southwest St. Elizabeth 218, East Central St. Catherine 246, Northern Clarendon 379, St. Anne Northwest 384, and Portland Eastern 436. So and the others are above 500, but below 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
So there was this shared arrogance that, we just need one seat to form government. And they had, 8 more to form a comfortable government. So, the results then proven that they were arrogant. And what they started to do is to replace candidates like Northeast Manchester, where there was Edna Miller Simpson. They replaced her with Baldwin, So that, there would be some acrimony there.
Yes.
They kept Sian Barneswell in Southeast Clarendon.
Mm-hmm.
They sent Duncan Sutherland to Eastern St. Andrew, and there were already questions around, the selection process there. Was it fair? Miranda was in Southwest St. Elizabeth. Raymond Price was in East Central St. Catherine, and they sent Isaac Buchanan, which was one of the success for them in Portland Eastern. Christopher Brown was a good decision for them. He should have been the candidate from 2007. There were issues with his candidacy, and the party pulled him, right? And he kept working the seat behind the scenes. So that was a good pick. Weaver Hines was a good pick as well. So they picked up 3, which would take them to 34.
Yes.
Had they continued on the trajectory. However, they lost.
So tell me, complete the point. Go ahead.
So they lost 6. In Northern Trelawney, the removal of Dennis Meadows, I believe was a huge error on their part. Donovan Mitchell keeping him was not bad, In Central Kingston, they replaced me after coming out ahead of the JLP by 541. That was a colossal loss.
So it was political incompetence or what?
Arrogance.
Mm-hmm. And why the JLP won?
They have performance the achievements that they can campaign on. So that's one. 2, there were comrades who were angry about, around the mistreatment. There were PNP people who believe that Donovan should be given an opportunity to continue the work. And we had a better political organization there in Central Kingston than the PNP. So
let me ask you now, what now for Mark Golding and the PNP? How do you see them responding in the weeks and months ahead?
I don't see Mark Golding staying on as leader of the PNP. There are too many on the side who are thirsty for power.
There are too many what?
Too many individuals over there who are thirsty for power. You have Dayton Campbell, you have Damian Crawford, Julian Robbins is there, and many others. So they are interesting times ahead.
Dayton Campbell for what? Leader of the party?
Leader of the party.
Oh? You really think so? No, I'm asking.
He does have interest in the leadership of the party, and that is why he ensured that he took a seat for himself. I mean, the last time around, there were many who had interest in the leadership of the party, and they did not offer themselves because they were on the outside. They never had a seat.
Yes.
So all of them ensured that they contested the general election, secure themselves so that, they can possibly be counted when the time comes.
Should he offer to resign? Golding.
Most definitely. I mean, when Dr. Phillips lost, they were called for him to resign. When our beloved Portia Simpson Miller lost, they were called for her to resign. They pressured her into resigning as well. And I remember Portia saying at the NEC meeting that she never knew the day would come that the PNP would be eager to get rid of Portia Simpson Miller. And she hoped that they are not eager to call on her whenever there is a general election. She was very clear on that. And I do believe that Mark Golding, having presented himself as, a man of integrity and man of good reasoning, he should do the honorable thing and at least offer his resignation.
Now, despite doubling the party's parliamentary base from 14 to 28?
A win is a win and a lose is a lose.
He
There's
lost.
no second prize for losing. There's no second prize in politics.
Yeah. Well. So what now for you, Lawrence Rowe, politically and otherwise? What now for you?
Well, I chose Jamaica, and I am staying with Jamaica and the Jamaican people.
Yes. What does that mean politically?
I am a laborite. So it is, for there are conversations being had. I won't say what those conversations are yet. But I feel good that I am happy that the Prime Minister secured the third term. I am happy that the JLP is in power. And, we will continue with the progress and prosperity on behalf of the Jamaican people.
But you're certainly not done with representational politics, are you?
No, I am not.
So you may very well be a candidate in the next local elections due a year and a half from now.
The possibilities are endless.
Okay. Yes. And what are you by profession, Mr. Rowe?
I'm in the field of accounting,
Okay.
but I prefer social work.
Yes. Thank you very much, Lawrence Rowe. All the best.
Same to you and your listeners.
Okay. Take care. Time for the break.